What's up, y'all? It's Matt with Family Tradition Farms. Hey, I've been away from YouTube for a while. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life. And weirdly enough, when I started doing YouTube, I told myself I wasn't looking at the numbers, I wasn't gonna look at the comments, but I did. And I got discouraged. I really thought nobody's watching the videos. It's pretty much a big waste. So I took about a year off, didn't really film a whole lot. This is my first video back. I remembered why I started doing YouTube. I've got a daughter now, and we're about to welcome our second little boy into this world here in less than a month. And I started doing YouTube so that one day my kids could look back and see what it was like at Family Tradition Farms when we were just getting started. Things have come a long way, even since a couple years ago when we started. A couple new pieces of equipment that some of you have seen and some other new ones you have not seen. We're also picking up a little bit more ground and things are moving along quite nicely. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a farm update because I've been away from so long and really get back to why I started YouTube and where we're going to continue from here. So I'm dedicated now, guys. No offense. I'm not worried if you watch the videos or comments or likes. I'm not doing this for views. I'm doing this so my kids can one day look back and see everything that we've done on the farm. So as usual, guys, we're gonna crack a cold one and we're gonna get right after it. All right, so this is the newest addition to the farm. It's a John Deere 4430, as you can pretty well make out behind me. Now the cool thing about this tractor is it actually has the 466 engine in it. The owner before me did an engine swap. So this is the engine out of like a 4440, or I think this particular one actually came out of a 7720 combine, which is one step up of a combine from what I've got. My combine, my 6620, has the exact same engine. So oil filters are the same, capacities are the same, working on them is the same. That's a huge plus. This is a quad range tractor. It's not pretty, but it matches the rest of the farm. Got a nice little patina on it. It is weighted up. Just got the tri-ribs on the front and some singles on the back. It's a big step up for me because it's got a cab. Air conditioning blows cold. Radio doesn't work, but that's okay. We need to listen to the tractor anyways. It's got a 3-point, which the 806 did not have. It's got, in my opinion, better hydraulics, way faster than the 806. And all around, I like operating it a lot more than the 806. Love the 806, don't get me wrong. But this one's mine. I really like it. So as typical, we still got the old John Deere 7000 planter. Got quite a few repairs I need to make to it this winter. It's pretty rough on it this spring, but it is what it is. Old stuff breaks, so we're gonna have to fix that. So yeah, she's still hooked up. Haven't washed it, haven't done anything to it. I need to get the bush hog out because I got some roadways and some ditches I need to mow down, but that's all right. I'm not too worried about it. Today, we're just gonna take a quick little farm tour, probably jump on the side-by-side, run down and check on some crops and see how those are coming along. And I don't know, if I get a wild hair, might even go check out the combine and make sure it hasn't, you know, keeled over, flipped up dead or something. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna jump back on the side-by-side and we'll take you off, and we'll probably go look at some soybeans first and just see how they're progressing along. So anyways, stick around. We'll meet you at the field. This is the newest field I've picked up. Brand new field, never been farmed before. I was lucky enough to rent it. I'm doing a little bit of a test plot here with two different varieties of soybeans. You can actually kind of see this variety right through here is a little bit shorter. It's a little bit later variety as compared to this one right through here. It's a little bit taller. This is a 3.5 and that's a 3.7. Both Paloma, which are purchased through Farmers Business Network. So if we look at the actual beans themselves, our 3.7s look good. I mean, I'm not mad about that at all. That's a new variety. They recommended me planting some. Again, not mad at it at all. But our 3.5s are, man, they look awesome. I planted these last year and had fantastic luck with them. And you can really see they're just stacking pods, which again the 3.7s are also. Just from this initial look, not quite as impressed, but that's all right. We're probably going to pull a plant from each one. That way we can take it back to the house and actually do a count on the pods. So we're going to go ahead and pull a plant of each one, 3.7 and a 3.5. Take it back to the house. That way we can count the pods, see if we can tell any difference on what we might be expecting yield-wise. Really, we probably won't be able to know until we get out here with the combine and actually see what runs through. So again, this is the farthest away field. It's a brand new one. We're going to start heading back towards the shop, make a couple stops on the way there. And I did forget to mention, guys, these soybeans are on 15-inch rows. It's the only field I got this year that is on 15s. I've got most of my beans are in 30s, and I've got a little plot that I just kind of threw the seed out there to see if it comes back. So we're back to the side by side here. We're gonna jump in and head on down the road. We'll just pop into the barn here real quick. Not a whole lot going on down here. Old 6620, she's still in here taking a nap. Haven't even considered waking her up yet. Far too many other things going on. We do have some work again we need to do to this before we take it to the field. Got to put a new muffler on up top. Got this clean grain auger here. Need some work up top. New auger trough on the bottom. Just a few minor things. Shouldn't be too bad. Again, we got the 216 platform. Had it for a while. This is our new to us low 10 643. Came with the new combine. So again, not a whole lot going on in here. Just a good old John Deere 6620. We'll wake her up here in a few weeks, get her pulled down to the shop and go through it, make sure she's ready for harvest. Okay. All right, we made it to the next little soybean patch here. It is little, both in size and in stature. So this patch actually wasn't planted until I think July 15th. This was our sunflower patch. We always have a big sunflower patch every year, and we ended up having some weed problems this year that we weren't expecting. So I decided to put some soybeans after the sunflowers. That way I can hit them with some different herbicides, because the regular sunflowers or herbicides just weren't cutting it. So these are very, very small, and we're what's today? August 8th today. So these aren't going to get very big. I'll be happy if I get maybe 10 bushels off here. This is about an acre patch. If I get about 10 bushels, I'll be happy. But I was really worried about getting some weed control put on this. I was going to plant a cover crop, but again, you can't really get any weed control when you plant a cover crop. You just kind of put it out here. So we opted for the soybeans. That way I could hit it with some Enlist and hopefully keep the weeds knocked down. Got some milkweeds growing right there, but it's a heck of a lot better than what it was. This whole patch was just full of water hemp and Palmer amaranth, and it was pretty hairy. So this looks way better than what it was. I should also mention the first patch we looked at, that was planted I think end of April. So that was our earliest planting on soybeans, and this is our latest planting. Again, I don't expect this to do a whole lot, but anything's better than nothing, especially in a year when soybeans are worth $11 if you're lucky, and corn, yeah, again, if you get 4, you're pretty lucky. So this little patch, not much to it, but we'll keep it. We'll see what it does. So we'll jump back in the mule and head on down to the next one. Welcome to stop number 4 on the Family Tradition Farms farm tour. This is our big soybean field, and this is also where we have our actual test plot. This is a Dyna-Gro test plot, so I think we've got 11 varieties out here, and 8 or 9 of them are Dyna-Gro. So we've got all the way from here. This is a 2.9, way early bean for us here in southern Indiana, but they had it. They wanted us to put it out. I'm really not too mad about it. It's very short, but there's a lot of beans, a lot of pods. I mean, I don't know that I would plant it again, but I'm not mad about it. Let's see, what's our next one here? Then we go up to a 3-1. Yep, 3-1. So our next bean here is another Dyna-Gro 3-1. Oh, and I should mention, these are 30-inch rows. I asked my guy last year, I said, I want to plant 30-inch row beans. What seed do you recommend? He said, I can't. I said, what do you mean? He said, no one in the area grows 30-inch beans. We don't have any research on it. Okay, well, let's put out a test plot. Might as well get some research, get some data on it. So these are 30-inch rows. Planted, let's see, when were these planted? Right at the beginning of May. Again, Dyna-Gros, 3-1s. Really not too mad about the 3-1s either. I mean, they look pretty good. We did have, as you can see, we had some water hemp problems, had to come in late with a herbicide application. Really didn't want to, but it was a rescue effort. We had to do something. The rest of the field is planted in a, I think it's a 3-5 Dyna-Gro. I think it's a 3-5. You can see pretty well here. One variety, next variety. There is a pretty big difference. This next one, I believe, is a 3-2. There's my little flag and my little marker. Probably ought to move those up closer to the actual rows. You know, let's go ahead and let's do that. All right. There we go. Well, this is gonna go right here. Yep, this is a Dyna-Gro. Oh, it's a 3-3. All these are Enlist beans. That's the most popular in our areas, Enlist. Yeah, 3-3s are looking good. Not near as tall as the first ones we looked at there, but pretty happy. Let's keep on moving down. I'm going to skip some of these guys because really until we get out here with the combine, we're not going to be able to really tell a difference. But we do have, I think, 2 Pioneer varieties out here. And we also have that Farmers Business Network 3-7 bean. That's what Farmers Business Network recommended I plant. They wanted to see that in the test plot to see how it stacked up here in southern Indiana. Let's see, we should be, these might even be the Pioneer beans. Looking pretty good, not too mad at all. Move over a little bit farther. These here, what are these? These are by far the biggest beans in the whole plot. Let me find my flag. There it is. There's the flag. Where's my stake? Aha! So these are D40s. I think those are Dyna-Gro 40s. I think that's what that means. I don't know. I gotta go back and look at my book. Like I said, these are by far the tallest beans in the whole plot. Tall doesn't necessarily mean best, but my gosh, they have stacked on some pods there. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too mad about that one at all. Move over a little bit farther. These are probably going to be our, yeah, these are probably the 4-1s. And our very last variety. Let's get out to it. There we go. Count my rows back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right here. Find my flag. Oh, there it is. These are, what are these? You are a 4-1. S41 EN72. These are a 4-1 bean. Again, that's pretty high number for our area. Get down in here. They look pretty good. again, it's hard to tell until we get, well, we can pull plants and count pods, but that's not really a science, because a 3-bean pod is not a 3-bean pod across all varieties. It could be one 3-bean pod has small beans, one could be big beans. You really don't know. So the best way to do is just wait until we get out here with the combine, and then we'll really be able to know for sure. So this is the Dyna-Gro test plot. I'm pretty happy with it. Never planted Dyna-Gro before. Kind of a cool little thing. You know, I felt like Big Time Farmer. They gave me a hat at the end of it. Dyna-Gro seeds. Yeah, big timing. So yeah, pretty happy with it. Only time will tell when we get out here with the combine, get that yield monitor calibrated, get out here with the weigh wagon and really see what these different varieties do. And hopefully, if they yield halfway decent, I'll have some good data for next year to plant 30-inch beans. Because with my planter, the 7000, it's on 30-inch rows. To do 15s, I've got to go back in and split it. Basically, I'm planting the whole field twice. It's a pain. It takes a lot of time. It's a pain. I don't like doing it. If I can make 30-inch row beans work, I'd much rather stick with 30-inch row beans. So again, we'll see what they do compared to the 15-inch rows that we had planted in our first little patch we stopped at. And we'll just have to go from there. It's every year's a learning year. Over here, right on the other side of the ditch, is our cornfield. That's where we will be heading next. We are going to call this stop 4.5 because this is the bottom side of the cornfield. The top side, we actually have another Dyna-Gro test plot planted on it. So most of this corn is a Master Farmer, again from Farmers Business Network corn. We planted it last year, had pretty decent luck with it, so we went back with it again this year. Really it was a price point thing for us. We definitely got much better emergence this year than we did last year. It's planter settings was a problem last year. But I will say the plants are quite varying. We go from a plant like this that you got a decent ear on, to a plant like this that the stalk is smaller and the ear's a little bit smaller. Next to it, got a great looking ear on it, a little bit bigger. So I don't know if that's the variety or the planter. I mean, this side's even worse. You got that's a pretty small ear, and this is that's a real good looking ear. I kind of want to rip him off and see what we're looking at here. Let's just take a look. Here we go. Yeah, pretty good looking ear. I'm not mad about it at all. Pretty girthy. Kernels are filled out pretty well all the way to the tip. Had a little bit of tip back, but we had a pretty rough year on moisture. We didn't get the rains when we needed them. Then we got too much rain when we didn't need them. This area around here actually sat wet for quite some time. So to see an ear like that, I'm not mad about it at all. I can tell it's the Master Farmer corn because this is the same thing it did last year. The kernels aren't really even. A lot of them are kind of crooked and bigger on one side than they are the other, and it's just something with the genetics. That's what they did last year also. So that just gives you a kind of update on where the corn's at. We'll run up the road just a touch and take a look at the test plot here. All right, and stop number 5. We're gonna take a little shortcut through the sweet corn here. That's why there's so much weeds out here. Watch out for the fence. It's still hot. Had a pretty good sweet corn year this year. Not too mad about it. We'll have one more picking here, and then we'll be done. We'll come in here and bush hog all this down. We do have some colored popcorn growing over there. It's the really tall stuff. So that's come along pretty cool. Never done that before. Just, you know, a little something fun to play with. We are trying something new this year. Here in about 3 weeks, we're going to have a drone come in and fly on our cover crop. We're going to fly it into the standing corn and the standing beans, and just try to give it a little bit of a head start on growing before it frosts here in southern Indiana. So I'm interested to see how that works. Obviously, all this tall grassy crap is going to hinder it, but the field corn's pretty clean. All right, fence again. Just dig on in here, find our long rows. And again, this corn has definitely had some stressors on it. There's a new road built just on the other side there. All this field used to drain that direction. Built that road and now it has nowhere to drain. So we've experienced ponding in areas that we never had ponding before. We're just having to kind of figure it out. We're gonna have to figure out where to run tiles and some surface drainage to get this water off. So like I said before, this is another Dyna-Gro test plot. Let's see, here's a variety right here. Let's see what this is. D53 VC54. Get in here a little bit farther where it wasn't flooded out. There you go. So we've got the D53 on this side. Pretty good looking ear. And then whatever this is on the other side. A little bit smaller ear, but still not terrible. Again, I'm really interested to see how this corn does, because we're no-till. Our soils aren't the greatest. We're not shooting for 300 bushel. I'll be happy if we hit 200 bushel. But I'm looking for a corn that has good stress tolerance. We do not spray any kind of fungicide. I'm actually not seeing anything out here as far as tar spot or really any rust or anything. It looks pretty clean. So that's a plus, because like I said, we don't put any kind of fungicide on here. It's just not economical for us to do so. So yeah, that's about it, guys. The corn's a little cooler to see the actual test plots, because you know, you can see, oh, this is a great big ear right here compared to the one right next to it. It's a little bit smaller, a little easier to visualize which ones are going to do better than the next ones. So that's about it. That pretty well concludes the crop tour. End of August, well, beginning of August of 2024 here at Family Tradition Farms. Once again, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me, but I'm doing this for my kids. I decided I'm going to post these up, that way they can find them 5-10 years from now in the future. They'll all be on YouTube, basically like a free thumb drive if you want to look at it that way. So I appreciate you hanging out with me, appreciate you following along. But again, I'm doing this for the kids, so I'm not going to focus on editing a whole bunch. Probably going to be pretty choppy. If you hate it, you don't have to watch it. If you love it, give it a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe to the channel and just let me know that I'm doing a good job. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks, and y'all have a good one.